true. It ain't love, it's just a thing we do. 'Cause I know you got another man too. Not enough to make me turn my back on you. In the morning I'll be kissy bound. 10:30 then I hit that ground. I'm meeting Tony at the polka dot lounge and I throw for the kick around. I keep punching till I leave no doubt. I ain't the kind of man I'm singing about. 'Cause I ain't never been a good boy scout, but I drink myself here, I see myself out. I'm 2 steps forward and 1 step back. I cry blue murder, then I walk that track. Started kicking up dust till my feet turned black. Halfway to a heart attack.
Listening to Blues on the Hill. Australian acoustic blues mastermind Lloyd Spiegel is delighted to announce the release of his 8th album, Backroads, and is touring to back it up. Backroads is a hard-edged, brutally honest account of Spiegel's life outside of music and reinvents his sound for new audiences, delivering more punch. In his most powerful studio performance to date, lead track The Kick Around, which you just heard, sets the tone from the outset with just over 2 minutes of fuzz, searing lead breaks, seedy bars, and the potential for regret. Lloyd Spiegel, welcome back to Blues on the Hill.
That was very well said, Baz.
It's a beautiful...
I always love your introductions.
Didn't take me long to write that, you know.
I come in every year, and every year you outdo yourself.
Good on rhythm section. So congrats on the album too. How does it feel getting back with the electric? So what, that was the whole vibe. You just sort of the acoustic. You do something different, yeah.
Well, you know, the songs dictate how it's going to get recorded. So you start writing songs, and if they don't sound right with an acoustic guitar, there really is only so much you can do with an acoustic guitar. And I felt like I'd sort of reached a point where something had to change. The songs were a lot harder punching, so by the time I put the drums on, I realised I was going to have to bring the electrics in. And I've done electrics. I've done small parts of electric on all my albums. I mean, this time tomorrow had a little bit of electric, but it was a Strat through a really clean amp. And it's always just been me going in and doing 1 day of electric takes, plugging into the amp that's there in the studio, and just going with that tone for the whole album. Whereas this one, I spent a lot more time on the electrics, and I brought my brother in. My brother Marty is an electric guitarist. That's his thing. It's not my thing as much as it's his thing. So he came in and basically put together a bunch of pedal rigs for me, because I've never been an effects guy. Yeah. So I just called him up. So can you come into the studio, listen to these songs, and then just go down to the guitar store and just buy the pedals that we need to get the sounds that are in my head. And he did an amazing job. So each track actually has, fresh guitar tones for me, and he absolutely nailed it. He knew exactly what I was looking for.
On the album, we have Lynn Botel, Marty Spiegel, Charlie Acorn, Lisa Baird, Riley Spiegel, Levi Harkness, Tony Green, and Catherine Wallace. A nice bunch of your friends there, Lloyd?
Yeah, most of them. Well, I mean, my brother put the pedal rig together, right? So he just invited himself to be on the album, and the rest of it kind of fell in place. Charlie Acorn was staying at my house. He stays with me when he's in Melbourne. We're good friends, and he was over from Canada, and I literally said, "Hey, I'm going to the studio tomorrow. Do you want to be on the record?" Yeah. And Lynn Botel was exactly the same. Actually, Lynn called me because I popped up on her Nearby Friends Facebook app. She said, "You're nearby." I said, "Well, you're from Newcastle." "Yeah, but I'm in Melbourne." And I said, "Where?" "I'm in Maribyrnong." "You're kidding me. I'm like a street away from you." So she came down and put some backing vocals on. For those of you that don't know Lynn Botel, she is an 8-time Golden Guitar winner and a country music superstar. And through the guitar company has become a really good friend. And she just walked, like she was in the studio for 10 minutes, just walked in and perfected everything she did and walked out. Lisa Baird, people might know from Lillian King. She's playing trombone on a track and doing some vocal. And then the others are all kind of weird stories. Well, first of all, Riley Spiegel is my son.
Of course, and now a veteran after the last album.
Yeah. He's done a few shows on the tour, and and Levi Harkness is his little brother, his 7-year-old brother, and the last track I'm not on. The last track of the album, which seems to be getting more airplay than most of the tracks, actually, I must admit, is Tim playing with Riley on guitar, and then Levi at 7 years old got very upset that Riley was on his second album and he hasn't been on an album yet, so I just got him to play a couple of bass notes. Levi, of course, is unaware of what magic we can do in the studio. So he hears the track and thinks he nailed it. Whereas poor Rob Dylan had to spend quite a bit of time putting Levi in place. And then Tony Green's my best friend. He plays tambourine on one track on every album I make, just to get a liner note.
It's a good deal.
Yeah, and then and Catherine is actually a fan of mine from Sydney, who has been a fan of mine since before I had fans in Sydney. Her and her family used to be the only 6 people at my Sydney gigs, and again on Facebook I happened to just see she was in Melbourne, and I contacted her, and we're not close. We see each other at gigs, and I've always appreciated that her family has been big supporters. And so, hey, do you want to see how we make an album? She said, yeah, it'd be great. So she came along, and I put her on a cowbell. Put her on a cowbell so she could get a liner note. Why not?
There you go. You made it.
I'm a music trivia buff, so I want people to look at this one day and wonder who all these people were and go Googling for the stories.
Recorded and mixed by Robert Dylan, of course, who won all your awards with the last album. Of course, you cleaned up with that one, didn't you? How many? 6, 7?
Yeah, I don't know.
Something like that.
Won some awards. Rob deserves more awards, to be honest, than I do. Rob works extremely hard on my albums. He's done all but one of my albums, and he's just. We've started to really connect to a point where there's no stopping and discussing it. We know
just
if that was the
take.
take.
Look at each other.
Yeah, we know if that was the take. We know if it wasn't. And he's really great at making decisions that I can't make. There's tracks on the album where the guitar solo, I would not have it on there because it wasn't as precise as I like to play. But he's listening for the performance, and so we've become quite a good team, both as my live engineer and my studio engineer.
Now, you brought the guitar in, the Cole Clark Lloyd Spiegel special.
Yeah, it's beaten up at the moment.
And as I
needs
noticed,
a bit of surgery.
You added a little pickup to it.
Yeah.
A little gold pickup, which looks nice.
The second output, so I can play the electric stuff live.
Beautiful.
I'm enjoying this one actually. It's the best guitar I've owned, and I think after years and years, I finally just got all the little things I want. Perfect. I'm shifting.
One on it.
All right, that's where I was originally. All right, here we go.
We'll get that
We're good.
microphone there on it, and we'll get that there, and you can do what you want to do.
Downtown Kansas City, waiting on a ride from an old friend with a slow watch I ain't seen since 95. But he don't look so different, it's just the way he used to be. I feel like I'm a stranger, I guess the thing that's changed is me. The folks out there at BB's, they got my picture on the wall. It's an old shot of a young man, don't look like me at all. The place don't look so different, it's just the way it used to be. I don't recognize myself, I guess the thing that's changed is me. Kansas City Katie, she's a girl I used to know, but I'm too old and too drunk to chase around her ghost. I bet she looks no different, just the way she used to be. I bet the years are good to her. I guess the thing that's changed is me. Feel like I'm a stranger. I don't recognize myself. I guess the thing that's changed is me.
Oh yeah, beautiful stuff. Live blues, beautiful finger-picking acoustic blues there from Mr. Lloyd Spiegel. Thank you, Lloyd.
Thank you, Baz.
You're back with Baz and Lloyd Spiegel. You are listening to Blues on the Hill, Oz Blues Hour, very special show featuring Backroads, the latest release from Lloyd Spiegel. He's got the guitar still here. We need to get one more track out of him. You cannot have a man that can play guitar like Lloyd and not get at least 2 songs.
That's a bit of pressure there, Baz.
It is a little bit of pressure, but I'm sure you're used to it. Let's get some more blues happening.
I'll do an old song, yeah. You've pretty much got the new album covered, Baz, so. My lover sits me down to rest, and my lover lays my head upon her breast. My lover shines on from above, but my lover will never be my love. My family gave all they had to give, and my family is leaving me to live. And my family can't run from the past now. My family is dim and fading fast. Mississippi, beneath the blazing sky, the Mississippi sun is on the rise. Mississippi is shining like they say. Mississippi, I'll return to her someday.
Awesome stuff. Beautiful finger picking blues there from my studio guest, Mr. Lloyd Spiegel.